I have time to get you up to speed. The largest provider of shelters for immigrant children in the country is trying to reopen two facilities here in the valley. Southwest Key has filed applications to reopen its facility in downtown Phoenix and another one in Youngtown out near Sun City. If the name of that company sounds familiar, it's because last year the state forced Southwest Key to shut down those centers over issues with employee background checks and allegations of abuse. The State Department of Health and Human Services says it is still reviewing Southwest Key's applications. Two near drownings in 2 days. A 9-month-old child is in extremely critical condition this morning after being pulled from a bathtub at a home in Phoenix on Saturday. Yesterday, a 4-year-old child was taken to the hospital, also in critical condition, after something went wrong near Central Avenue and Baseline. We're still waiting to learn more facts about both of those cases. We talk a lot on this show about keeping your kids safe around water. The Drowning Prevention Coalition of Arizona says so far this year, 4 children under the age of 6 have drowned. Each one is a terrible loss, but it does look like safety is improving overall. Last year, there were 17 such drownings in that same age group. Terror organization ISIS is now claiming responsibility for a deadly attack at a wedding over the weekend in Afghanistan. At least 63 people were killed when a suicide bomber blew himself up in the middle of a celebration. Nearly 200 other people were hurt. The attack came as the Trump administration pushes to end U.S. involvement in Afghanistan by negotiating a deal with the Taliban. You're now up to speed. You can get the latest news anytime on 12news.com or on the free 12 News app.